Hey you guys, I am back today with another part of the My Story series that I've been doing here on YouTube, and now I'm actually putting this on Instagram TV as well. But whenever I post about my issue that I had a few years back with hormones, I get tons of questions asking for me to share my story. So that's what I want to do here in this video, share my story. Hopefully some of you guys can relate, and also give you guys some things that you can do to, if this is kind of your situation, to get better and just start healing from that. So it was back in, let's see, in 2015, sorry I have a little bit of a stuffy nose. Back in 2015, I competed in quite a few shows. I got really lean. I reversed out of it really well. I reversed out of it slowly. In January, we had some really stressful things happen in my family. My husband lost his job, my sister was going through a really hard time, and I got really stressed out. I had also just turned 35, so I don't really know the reasons why my hormones went crazy this coming year, but kind of those things kind of probably played into it. So I was working with a coach online. I was working with Whitney Jones down in Arizona with Pro Physiques, and we were trying to do 3 shows that summer. So the first one I think was in like May or June. And so January, she told me my picture started looking off. She was like, something's not right. We were prepping for those shows. We weren't dieting too aggressively yet, but we were hoping to be losing fat at this point. So February comes along, she's like, yeah, something's not going right. You know, March comes along, she's like, I don't think we're gonna be ready for the first one. I was like, okay, that's fine. We'll try for number 2. So April comes along and she's like, I think you should meet with with a doctor, get your hormones tested, run a full blood panel or a full hormone panel, do all the tests, tested thyroid, your T3, your T4, your progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, cortisol. I did the full panel. Okay, so we did that, and the results came back, and I was really low on thyroid, on my T3. I don't remember what the numbers were. I can't even remember all the details, but I was hypothyroid for sure, like really low. I guess with your T3, and again, this is just my experience, so I don't know what your doctors will say or what's the right thing for you, but my doctor wanted me in the mid 3s, and I was down at like 1.7, so it was really low. So diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and we went on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. So I went on a T3, T4 combo, as well as progesterone. And so we did have to increase the dose a couple times. He started me low, very moderate, not aggressive, and then we increased it about a month later, and I think that's the dose. I can't remember exactly. I think that's the dose that I'm still on, and I understand that I'm gonna be on this for life. So, and I'm okay with that. There weren't a lot of holistic things I could do. Everything I was already doing. I didn't eat a lot of grains. I didn't eat a lot of dairy. I didn't eat a lot of sugar. My diet is very clean and unprocessed. I exercise every day, you know? So there weren't a lot of dietary or lifestyle factors that I could change that would help me get better. So in my mind, the bioidentical hormone replacement therapy was what I did. So again, everyone's gonna have a different route to feeling better, but that is what worked for me. But going back really quick, so my symptoms were, I didn't really feel that bad, you guys. So many people are like, oh my gosh, I just can't stay awake throughout the day. I can't function throughout the day. I just am so tired. I didn't feel that bad. I was just gaining weight. I was gaining like 2 pounds a month, probably like a half a pound a week. My weight would spike like 3 pounds, and then it would stay the same for a couple weeks. It would never drop. Whenever it would jump up, it would never drop back down. And this is all while I was prepping for a show, you guys. So I wasn't being super aggressive, like 1,000 calories or anything. It was a normal calorie deficit, but one that should have made me dropping body fat at like regular intervals, and instead I was putting on body fat and was not dropping that. That went on for probably a few months. And so before I met with the doctor, and then I met with the doctor, and it's not a quick fix, you guys. If that's something that you go through, it's not something where like, and I was like, okay, how many weeks? Like, well, you may feel better in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It was honestly, it was like 6 months before I was like feeling better and like feeling better in my skin and feeling more confident. And it was probably until the next year, almost a year later, when I attempted my first like diet phase again and was successful at losing fat. So it's not a quick fix. Couple questions. I have some things written down. So 2 things that helped me the most. Okay. First, getting on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, okay? You'll need to talk to your doctor about which medications are right for you, which ones you should try, which ones he or she thinks will be best. And I'm not gonna share my medications because I don't want you guys going off thinking that you should try the same thing as me. That's a conversation you need to be having with your doctor, okay? Also, and this one was probably the hardest thing I've done in my fitness journey, and that was I stopped dieting. So the low calories, low carbs, low fats, that's not good for your hormones. And when you're trying to boost your hormone levels and get healthy, you need to do it from all levels. So you need to take whatever your doctor's telling you to do, make any dietary changes that your doctor's having you do, as well as eating enough food. So my coach immediately put my calories up to maintenance level, which was not really that high because my metabolism had slowed down due to the dieting I was doing. And then we started reverse dieting a little bit. So this was hard, you guys. Imagine if you were sitting like 10 pounds above where you wanted to be, and then you started eating at maintenance, and you did that for like 6 months. It was super, super hard. And showing up at the gym, not just in public, I don't mean that, I just mean showing up every single day for myself, like pushing it hard in my workouts, staying on track with my eating. I did not blow it on my eating and go just eat whatever I wanted. I was very, very strict, probably because I was still holding out hope that I would get better really quickly and I could compete that year, which didn't end up happening. Actually, it did happen, but I was not stage ready. That's a whole nother video in and of itself. But I was dialed in on my macros and tracking and my nutrition, and that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my fitness journey. I don't want to say in my life because we all have much greater trials than this in our lives, but in my fitness journey, eating at maintenance level when I was so uncomfortable in my skin, being 10 pounds over where I wanted to be, and not being able to actively try to lose fat, and also not going crazy on my food and tracking everything that went into my mouth, pushing hard in all my workouts, being very moderate in my cardio, not going crazy and doing like 2 hours a day. It was very like 20 to 30 minutes, 5 days a week. I can't remember. It was something very moderate like that though. So all of those things over the course of like 6 months. I remember my first photo shoot with Ideal Fit. It was in October, where I finally felt, oh my gosh, I look good in those pictures. I finally felt confident and comfortable in my skin. I still had probably like 7 or 8 pounds I wanted to lose, but at that point I was feeling good again. So not a quick fix. First thing you should do if you feel like you're having some of these symptoms is find a doctor, okay? Find someone locally who specializes in hormone replacement therapy who you can see. Don't just go to your OBGYN. Don't just go to someone who's gonna blow you off. Your family doctor or your OB, in general, unless they specialize in this, they are going to just look at your numbers and make sure they're in a normal or average range. But you don't want to be normal or average. You want your numbers to be optimal. So you need to find the right doctor, okay? If you don't have access to a doctor, I have found an amazing company called letsgetchecked.com that does all of the testing through the mail, and they have a team of nurses that help you interpret those tests and give you some guidelines of things you can try on your own, but also the information that you can go take to a doctor and you know, the right questions to ask and some ideas that you can talk with your doctor about. So you do still need to find a doctor. Anyways, I hope that helped you guys. I do have a link and a discount code with letsgetchecked.com. So it's going to be in this post. If you do live locally in Utah, though, send me a message and I will give you my doctor's information. He's helped so many people that I know. So hopefully that helped you guys, and I will see you guys next time.